What's that mean?
I think we're live, Joe.
Yeah. You good to go?
I think so.
All right. I think we are.
Oh, mute your
I think we are.
mute your computer. Just mute it.
There it is. Look at that. Well, happy post-Thanksgiving to everybody. This year, our new family tradition that started in 2017, going to Oxford Casino for the Thanksgiving buffet, was disrupted by a pandemic, apparently. The only reason I wanted to go because I was chasing the dragon from literally the first year we went, 2017, after I ate the perfectly passable buffet. I went out to one of the slots. I was playing Lock It Link, if you know slots. And on my second bet of $1, I won $1,300. I ended up leaving there with $1,700 that day. And it's just, haunted me ever since. And so maybe this is happening for a reason. Maybe like the casino thing had to start, because I've lost consistently every year since. It was just one of those things, like every casino experience. So I decided we would make some interesting Thanksgiving leftovers outside of the gobbler sandwich, which, the gobbler sandwich came to prominence in 2010, maybe 8. I don't know. It was always a thing, but like when everybody actually started offering it, and sometimes on a wrap and sometimes on bread, and it's fine. It's also just kind of the last fucking thing I feel like eating after I just ate all those things on a plate 2 days before. So I need different textures. I need different consistency. I need some spice in that thing. So one of my Chowder heroes, if there is a Chowder hero, Jasper White, he inspired me with this dish. He has a kind of a leftover turkey with sage chowder that he does. So what I'm going to do is basically do my own version of that. So we have some bacon here for rendering. I'm going to pour off a little of the bacon fat. Just a little bit. And the reason being is because we're going to add more fat in the form of some Kerrygold butter, KGB, if you will. Is going to go into the bacon. So the bacon's going to give us a nice smoky characteristic. I try to get the smokiest bacon I can find at Hannaford. There's just, in these days, we kind of work with what we have. And
hey, Joe.
Yeah.
We're going to make an adjustment, okay?
Okay.
Everyone's going to see some shit, okay?
Shit's going down, is it?
Yeah. This is funny.
What are you adjusting?
I got to adjust some.
Are you making me thinner? That'd be good.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
We just got to. We got to go in here. And we got to turn off. We got to turn this off.
This is actually Joe Riccio's keto chowder. Keto turkey chowder to make you thinner, like I look right now. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well, thank God. So what we're doing here is, again, we're taking turkey, your leftover turkey meat, cheated, and I actually took a whole turkey and roasted it specifically to make my broth and everything. But this can be done just as easily if you're just using your leftover carcass. So basically, what we're doing is we're taking off the bacon fat butter. We're adding some celery, onion, sage, thyme, and habanero chili. Actually, I added 2 habanero chilies here because I thought, why not give it some fruitiness and give it some heat? So you have all the fat from the butter and the bacon fat, and the smokiness from the bacon. But now you've gotten celery and turkey are a nice combination together, as you've probably noticed if you've had a lot of stovetop stuffing that has celery in it. Works out perfectly. So what we're going to do is saute these things together until they're soft. So the turkey broth I made, I used kind of a sort of a hybrid. So I took the entire supermarket turkey, to be honest. I didn't buy a nice turkey to make stock with. I broke it down to 5 pieces, and I roasted it for about an hour and a half at like 450 to get it, just to get some brown, and kind of also just to like, because those things take like a zillion years to actually defrost, even though they've been on in my fridge for like 3 days, whatever. It gets some of that liquid out of there and gets turkey ready to make the stock with. So I did that, and then I charred my onions, I charred my carrots, I did some celery, thyme, and black peppercorn. I also use what I use in a lot of my Chinese stocks that I do. They're called wolfberries, also called boxthorn seeds. So it's really cool. They look like goji berries, basically. And they add an interesting sort of depth and kind of almost like, I want to say fruitiness to the sauce, but like the fruitiness is really subtle. They just give it like a little more of a rounded out characteristic, basically. So I use those in there. I let it go for probably 8 hours. Around 6 hours, I took the thighs out because I wanted dark meat for the chowder. I took the thighs out and I let them cool, and I pulled the meat off of those, and then put the bones back in, let the chowder keep going, and that's what I ended up with. And now we're doing the attack of the killer burner here, Chris.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fine. I think I cooled it down a lot. I had a lot of, so basically I just added, the stock had, like I said, wolfberries had some sage and some thyme in it. Because sage and turkey, and I figured why not have some heat and fruitiness from the habanero to go into the chowder here, because, you know, turkey, sage, cream, habanero, thyme, celery, salt, pepper. What's not to love there? I mean, that's sounds pretty delicious to me. So we're just letting these kind of soften up a little bit.
No, Jenny's here.
Oh, hey. And, you know, I've never actually done a live video before. This is the first time for both Chris and I. So if you are actually here, thank you for being here. It's awesome. Usually it's just, you know, 25 of Chris's friends and, you know, 0 of my friends because I don't, you know, quarantine. You know, all I do is just hang out inside and drink wine. So, you know, at a certain point, that's just kind of what I do. I'm excited though. We got this wine here. This is Nausa. It's from, actually, Xinomavro. It's from Nausa in Greece. Xinomavro is actually a grape that literally translates to sour black. It's really delicious. Someone drinks like Nebbiolo, and I thought, why not? Last time I was at this winery, or last time, but one time I was at this winery. The winemaker who looked kind of like me, but he's skinnier. Same Gucci sunglasses. His grandmother prepared us a whole baby lamb for lunch. So they're all on a picnic table, and it's like, you know, the lamb, the roast, and like all the offals and stuff. And it's like risotto, and in Greece, there's always a cheese pie. There's always tomato salad, like cucumbers. Always kind of, there's like certain things that they run consistent throughout. But I'll never forget, you know, just sitting there like drinking bottle after bottle of this, and doing that same thing now. That's how we roll. Okay. I was worried because this stupid burner, which makes me angry all the time. It manages to make me angrier than my actual electric burner, which is right to our left. And then my cat, which is over there eating the wood box. Chris, what's that wood box for? The cat's eating?
It's an apple box.
An apple box?
And now it's Tony's box.
Now it's Tony's box. Well, Tony, don't use it as your box because I just had that litter changed not long ago. Somebody told me a long time ago that when you write stories about food, and actually really good advice, when you write about restaurants, never talk about the bathroom in the story. And I was like, that's good advice. And I adhered to it throughout my whole entire food writing career, except for one time, those restaurant called Outliers, The West End in Portland had a bathroom that like literally the walls were lined with like black latex, and there was like a payphone that you picked it up and it was like recite Hunter S. Thompson or something to you through the payphone. I had to mention it then. But otherwise than that, it's been a pretty good thing. So, Tony, I don't know about litter boxes. Do they count? Because I just mentioned your stupid litter box in this stupid thing. Yeah? You don't seem to care. Applewood? Good. Nice to know about all your favorite things. All right. So everything here is starting to soften up a little bit. I figured at the ends, I have Mucogo potatoes going in, and then our rich turkey stock. And then I figured at the end I'd brighten up a little bit heavy cream, not to brighten up with heavy cream, but a little bit of lemon zest to sort of give some acidity to balance the heat and the fat and the cream and all that. So, I mean, yeah, this is like kind of a process day after Thanksgiving, if you were just in charge of making Thanksgiving dinner. But at the same time, like, what else are you going to do? Because I can guarantee you already had your turkey salad sandwich earlier, which, you know, there was this place in Freeport a long time ago called the Corsican Restaurant. It wasn't that long ago. That was like 90s and early 2000s. And they had this sandwich there that I'll never forget. It was a tarragon turkey salad with spinach, canned mandarin oranges on a soft wheat roll. And to this day, it's still one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. So there you go. If you want a new sandwich, if you want a new post-Thanksgiving sandwich recipe, you can thank the now defunct Corsican restaurant in Freeport, Maine for that. So things are starting to soften up here. It took me a second to get the heat up, but we've got all of our fats mingling together, and I think the habaneros, I left one of the seeds on it because I want it to be hot. Rich food, I mean, it's a great deterrent if it's super spicy. It's like, it makes you appreciate it more, you know? How many people have said that I'm wrong thus far, Chris?
Nobody's challenging you.
No.
Chris and I wants to know what we're drinking. I think we.
This is the Xenomabro from Nausa in Greece.
I don't think we're getting your lav mic audio.
You're not? Well, what are you going to do about that?
It is not letting me do
You're
it.
not getting my lav mic. This is live. You can come fix it because we're already breaking the fourth wall here.
Yeah. Well,
so
people are going to have to, just play along.
Well, there's not a lot to do while things cook sometimes. So fixing my lav mic might be a reasonable activity there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our potatoes that I had soaking in cold water to avoid oxidation on those. So Yukon Gold potatoes, peeled. I mean, you don't have to peel the potatoes. I mean, it's up to you. I peel them for chowder. I don't peel them for a lot of things. Like mashed potatoes, I like a little bit of. I love potato skin. I think it's delicious. But in a chowder, you want a little bit more of a textural thing happening. That it's just better if all the sides are peeled. So I'm mixing my potatoes in now. So as again, we have so far we have the bacon, the butter, the celery, sage, thyme, habanero pepper, onion, potato, and now we're going to add this delicious, rich turkey stock that I painstakingly made. I always say, and I've said it on my Instagram, like, scented candles are for assholes. Like, just make stock. Just always have a pot of stock going in your house, and nobody's ever going to be like, oh, it smells terrible in here, or I'm not in a good mood now. And always have everything in just cheap Tupperware containers. That's what Gordon Ramsay would recommend. This is, this is the signature Wolfgang Puck Tupperware. You can only buy the best when it comes to that. So, what we're going to do now is We're gonna let this hang out, and we're gonna bring it to a boil, actually an aggressive boil. We're gonna cover it and boil it for about 10 minutes. So the question is, what are we gonna do for the next 10 minutes? What are we gonna talk about? What do you want to talk about? Is anybody out there that wants to talk about something? Because I literally talk to myself all the time, so I don't actually need you. But if not, you're more than welcome to chime in. Yes, Sean. I am your friend too. I am Sean Meehan's friend. Or do you want to come to Aragosta with us, Sean? It's going to be a good time. I promise you. Aragosta in Deer Isle, if you haven't been, it is Goose Cove up in northern Maine, kind of the Blue Hill area. Honestly, one of the best restaurants in this entire state. And I think, in my opinion, it will be the most famous restaurant here within 2 years, because you go up there and you have this amazing food, and you're also like on this private beach, and there's suites and luxury cabins, and you get the whole glamping Maine experience. But there's no attitude. It's just like, it's really cool. If you haven't heard of Aragosta, definitely go check that out. It's pretty amazing. Devin's not watching, but if she was, we're gonna go up there. My cat, Jen, my cat is roaming around. I've sort of discouraged Tony from. The thing about cats, as every cat owner knows, cats' favorite thing to do is to just lay themselves out right behind your ankles while you're cooking, and then be surprised when you step on them. That's the thing that they like to do. They have this, look at you as if that you've just violated them in those ways, as if they didn't just set themselves up for disaster, but where they decided to hang out. So Tony, I'm sure, will show up, and when he does, I'll pick the cat up. So no, you don't like the cat. He doesn't like cats. I like cats. I'll pick the goddamn cat up, and I'll let you know the cat's still here and doing fine. We'll have check-ins. Tony is now an influencer. We got some cat food sent to us after a picture I posted that Jen Wiley took, and Tony didn't like the food at all because Tony likes Fancy Feast. When it's like the kind of thing. It's like when you start like housing McDonald's all the time, and then somebody's like, "Hey, I don't know, what's a shitty burger chain that doesn't taste good? Do you know one?" I think, yeah. I just hit her head on a trash can coming out, but we're not getting near the food. And also, I'm going to wash my hands. But what is it? What's the burger chain that the food you didn't like reminds you of? Okay, we'll talk to you later. I got to wash my hands now. Thank God for Bounty paper towels. The apocalypse is starting again, which means that when you see Bounty and Charmin and the good brands, you actually have to make sure you buy them, because the next time you go and you actually need them, they may be gone. Because when you try to use cheap paper towels, not only do you use 7 times as many of them, it's like basically trying to substitute Bounty with the brown things that come out of a rest stop bathroom. Those recycling paper towels. Cheap paper towels are the worst, and you use 25 times more than one strip of Bounty. That's how I feel. And that's how it goes. Chowder would love to come.
Oh.
No, I'm going to cover it.
What do you have for
May I have the cover to this pot? Sure. Thank you. Alexa, set a timer for 12 minutes.
Where's
12 minutes. Starting now.
Where's the cover, Joe?
I don't know.
What do we
I
got?
thought I gave you the cover. it's one of the only lavender pieces of kitchenware that we have. So it's somewhere. I feel like it's over there. Or it's behind the box of Ritz Crackers. Oh, no, it's right here. I had it the whole time. The whole time. It's fine. Listen. Don't get it twisted, okay? Everything is fine.
What did you eat for Thanksgiving? Olivia wants to know.
What I eat for Thanksgiving? Well, actually, so with my family, it's sort of a delicate dance. They don't really like the food I cook because I use, like seasoning and spices and herbs and, all those crazy, wacky things. So this year, because the casino Thanksgiving was disrupted, we did I'm actually from New York Times, cooking a buttermilk and salt brine on the turkey, which was awesome. It was absolutely delicious. I can highly recommend it. Did the buttermilk and salt brine for 48 hours on that. And then it's just like a celebration of, starch. So potatoes and squash and bread from Bono's Bakery, and then, things masquerading as vegetables like overcooked peas and corn with lots of butter in them and cranberry sauce, fruit, the usual. It was like, I felt like I was just decimated. Like literally, it was delicious though, I will say that. The food always tastes really good, but there's nothing, non-traditional happening. Oh, I didn't mention stuffing.
Check your mic. Is it on?
Is it? It is now.
Does it say mute?
I just flipped it and said on. Why did you bring the cards? Because I fucking told you to bring them, you fucking dastkud. Baby. Why didn't you bring them? I do. Normally, my voice that I talk to myself in the car resembles Sick Boy from Spotting. So it's like, first you got it, then you lose it, gone forever in all walks of life. Georgie Best, for example, had it, lost it, gone forever. Elvis Presley, Reed, Sean Connery. Despite the Academy Award, he's like, that means fuck all. I mean, when it's all right, it's really just shite, So anyway, that's what I like it when I get pulled over when I'm screaming at myself in a Scottish accent in my car alone. And not because of COVID. This has always been going on. I'm not just lonely because of COVID. I'm just a crazy person who has a brain that, if anybody has a new brain, I'll take it. There's no indication whether this is boiling or not. I'm not seeing coming out. I feel like we haven't filmed here for a while. And, maybe our Cuisinart is scolding us because of that. I don't know. But in the meantime, look at this. Edgecombe Potters is now our partner here. And look at these beautiful, absolutely gorgeous bowls and plates that we now can use to plate our food. I mean, there was a certain point where everybody was like, everybody now knows about what my cabinets have in them and what my silverware always looks like. So it's nice to actually have some nice things, some beautiful things that I'm actually kind of obsessed with to plate on. So, okay, it's boiling. Alexa, restart the timer for 10 minutes.
You don't have a timer for 10 minutes. The dinner's going for 12 minutes.
Yeah, well, you know what? Alexa, stop the timer for 12 minutes.
12-minute timer canceled.
And Alexa, start it for 9.5 minutes.
9 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
Yeah. If you want to ask me if anybody wants me to ask Alexa anything. So what we're going to do, basically, after these potatoes boil, we're going to smash a couple against the side to sort of release the starch, and that's going to kind of thicken the chowder. We're going to add the cooked turkey meat over there. I did all dark meat because dark meat is, let's face it, it's better. If you Although it's great to have a family that's really into white meat because they have no idea what a turkey oyster is. So when you go to these people's houses, they literally you wait for them to serve themselves, and then you just flip the turkey over, and you just take both the oysters out. I use 2 fingers in each, but that's not how I do it. I use a utensil, but and that's all you. So, but the we use dark meat because it's harder to overcook dark meat, so you should use that. I think, personally. Also, sometimes it's fun to do shows where there's not a lot of idle time with things cooking, and that's fun too.
We'll make a salad next time.
Next time, we're going to have the Caesar salad. I'm going to get the F2 Caesar salad kit from Shaw's Grocery Market. And that'll be what I'm going to do. I think it's a good time to make a shout out to our sponsors, Edge Potters, Taco Escobar, and Lazari Restaurants in Portland, which if you haven't been, I mean, you probably know about them by now. Escobar is sort of an institution, best nachos in New England, in my opinion. And they kind of do things in a way, you know, they make their tortillas by hand. They do, you know, they actually figured out the way to make a crema that actually works texture-wise in a certain volume. But Lazari's, their other restaurants, an Italian sort of a pizza place, and their white clam and garlic pizza is absolutely insane. Every time. I love it. I can't get anything else. They do a green salad that comes with like a pickled radicchio on top, which is a great way to get your greens, and also it feels very rich. But that's white clam garlic pizza. Forget about it. Every time. It's so buttery, garlicky, lemony, delicious, clammy. Clammy is not necessarily a term that's appetizing, but in this case, oh my God, there's steam coming out of the pot. You know, when I don't want you to be hot, you burn things. And when I want you to be hot, it just does this. But it's fine. I promise that we're going to be done shortly because after this is done, there's like literally 2 more minutes of stuff to do. And then it's chowder time. Now, with chowders, I will be honest, like if I were doing this not on a TV show and for myself, I would be making this to be having it tomorrow because chowders always get better if they get a chance to cure, essentially. Even if you're having it like tonight, it's best to leave it for an hour off the heat to let all the flavors come together. I think that's really important. It's actually, you have to do that. You have to do that. But chowders like lasagna and bolognese and those other things, they just get better, you know, as the time passes on. So I'm going to basically be able to assess this chowder in its initial stages, which is fun. I'm excited about the sage and the turkey together. I think that's really cool. I think the habanero, fresh habanero adds a nice like fruitiness along with all the intense heat. I took some of the seeds out. I left a lot of them in just because I wanted to burn a little bit. So, you know, Chris, you enjoying the wine?
I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the beer. Thank you.
As I said, this is our first time doing any kind of live setup, but we're going to be doing it a lot more often. And if you like this, if you don't hate me, you should go to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com /Food Coma podcast. And check it out. We have 3 different levels. You can patronize us at. Representing 3 different Roman emperors. And basically the whole point is we want to put together a cookbook based on this show. And it's going to be amazing. There's a photographer way better than I am who is going to be doing the whole thing. And basically the Patreon kind of goes towards that. So when you come on and you pledge at the $10 level, you get a copy of the cookbook. When it comes out in August or September of next year, we kind of want to have a lot of episodes under our belt to do that. And you know, if you watch what I do, obviously I take inspiration from a lot of people. This chowder, the way I make chowder is definitely inspired by Jasper White. It always has been. It's one of those things that the first time I made his New England fish chowder, I just couldn't see any other reason to do things another way. I don't make a Maine style like thick clam chowder. That's one of those things that I'm almost like, it's just as good out of like a can as it just tastes the same out of a can or fresh or whatever. It's just a really, thick chowder that you just load up with crackers. And don't get me wrong, we're gonna put some Ritz crackers on this chowder because much like Clarence in True Romance, there's a scene with the end of True Romance where Clarence is talking with Lee Dernowitz, the movie producer, and he's like, "I don't believe you." And Clarence is like, "What?" And he's like, "You want some coffee to add to your sugar?" And Clarence is pouring some sugar in his coffee. And he's like, "Lee, I'm not happy till the spoon stands straight up." And that's why I'm about Ritz crackers sometimes. I'm not happy till the spoon stands straight up because you're adding like just buttery, rich flakes of things and stuff and making kind of a porridge. But when you actually take the time to make a chowder like this, I don't think you have to go that far with it. But it's the original. Look at these. Look at this package. So, this Ritz turned into a Cheez-It on the back. Oh my God, Ritz is doing a collaboration with Cheez-Its. Oh no, they're doing Ritz Cheese Crispers. What the hell is that? Don't be trying to usurp the Cheez-It throne because you're dead to me. Cheez-Its are also really delicious. I want to give a shout out right now to Crown Pilot Crackers. Now, if you're from Maine and you've lived here longer than most people who have moved here, it's cool to move here. Oh yeah? Is that exciting?
Something happened.
I don't even care. I want this thing to just die. I want the water to boil over and to kill this thing when we get a new one. Crown Pilot crackers were Nabisco's oldest cracker, literally. And what they were like was a saltine in shape, but like an oyster cracker in flavor and texture. And they were the perfect chowder cracker. And Nabisco discontinued them once, and people from Maine lost their shit about it. And they literally brought them back for like 3 years and then discontinued them again. Or something like that. I think it was 3 years. But Crown Pilot, it's like, I don't really care. If it's not Crown Pilot, it can be any cracker. That's why I go with Ritz. Ritz is like a buttery, processed food. It's not good for you. Makes things taste pretty good. I don't really care. But yeah, if it ain't Crown Pilot. Anybody here remember Crown Pilot who's watching? Any 5 people? No. Spam pizza? Yes, I did beat Alexa, Chris. Thank you. Although I feel like it's been longer than I told her at the timer, or maybe it's just on camera. So maybe Alexa did win. She's withholding information from me. Whenever you say your name, Tony, stop it. Whenever you say her name, she responds. And ask Chris where the spam pizza's from.
I think you just did.
Chris was the spam pizza. If you tune in, actually, one of our future episodes we're doing next weekend, it won't be out, but we're going to be filming it. I'm doing, not with spam, but I'm doing a Maine lobster roll with fresh lobster, cubic mayonnaise, and tarragon on a toasted King's Hawaiian roll. So, which if you know King's Hawaiian rolls, you know they're taking 4 of them and cutting them in half and burning them in butter and doing spam with like a sriracha cubic mayo with scallions is one of the best breakfast sandwiches you'll ever have. And that's courtesy of Egg Slut restaurant. They, it's just based on, if you've had a King's Hawaiian roll, I mean, you can have it with chowder, you can have it with anything. Like, Alexa, stop the timer. You hear that? It's going to be a hootenanny. Put on my Paul Timberman steel line gloves here. Oh, yeah? That what you're telling me, Chowder? Okay. So we're going to do smash some chowder potatoes. Just to kind of make some starch. I'm going to kill this heat. But it's going to kill the heat because that's all it needs to be. Now, I'm going to add the leftover turkey dark meat. that we cooked in the stock. So turkey going into chowder now. Let that hang out for a second. And then I'm going to kill the heat and I'm going to add the cream and the salt and pepper, actually the lemon zest, lemon juice. Because, I don't know, it just seems like a good idea. Because after like a rich Thanksgiving meal, you want something lemony and spicy, right? I mean, you don't want more like fat and butter, even though those are in here. But you want something to balance it out. I honestly wish that turkey wasn't always prepared the same goddamn way all the time. I feel like it can be more versatile. But I also kind of agree with some people who think that chicken is better because I kind of agree with them. Chicken is more manageable. The flavor is kind of better. Turkeys are really big and whatever. They're fine. But, you know, I guess there's a reason they're a one-time-a-year thing. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add the lemon juice and lemon zest. I'm going to give it a nice pinch of Maldon salt. Always going to do that. Lots of black pepper. Some white pepper. Stir that like so. And then, that's hot as fuck. So don't pick that up. What I'm gonna do is a nice local Maine company here. Oakhurst. I'm gonna add some heavy cream. This guy. Just like you do. I'm going to take it and actually move it over. Okay, off the actual burner. And now what I normally do is let this guy hang out for a solid hour. Just to get more delicious. But because, you know, because if you're still watching, you're anxious to be over. Is there a spoon?
What type of spoon?
I think it's
Gold spoon?
actually a tiny spoon. We'll take some pictures.
You do that again.
Delicious. More of that. And, now, I had a lot of salt things. You always season the taste. But there are some people that say that there's enough pepper when your arm is tired from it, and I generally agree with that. I don't think there's such thing as enough black pepper in this world. So what I'm going to do now, use a bowl of this, using our beautiful dish from Edgecombe Potters here. Look at that. I mean, it makes me like self-conscious standing next to it. I feel insecure being in this bowl. And I'm just going to show you. Again, like I said, you want to cure the chowder normally, but because we're watching this, we'll do that. And now we're going to break into how many sleeves you want to know. It's like, these are, I don't give a shit what you say. Ritz crackers are a goddamn delight. They're a goddamn national treasure. And please don't recreate them. There's really no need to. You just kind of break a couple over it. A flourish of Ritz crackers will do, really. You can leave them, they don't have to be totally crushed up because, because they're Ritz and they'll dissolve into the sauce, into the soup. So, can people see this, Chris?
Yeah.
That right there. I mean, we're talking about chowder here, right? This isn't like some grand presentation of some insane soup. It's like a basic New England thing that we've gone here and made with leftover turkey, in sage, in habanero, Ritz crackers. It's absolutely delicious. You know what? I mean, lemon and thyme and sage obviously go well together as it is. Habanero is wildly underused. I mean, yeah, it's spicy, but if you add like 2 peppers to a whole, pot of soup like this, I mean, that's goddamn delicious. And you know what? It feels much lighter than Thanksgiving dinner. Shit, yeah, this is delicious, man. Like you should make this chowder, and we'll show you how to do it. Or we already did, and maybe we will. What are we gonna do? Proposing recipes? What are we doing?
Yeah.
You should join our Patreon. What you should do. If you like what we do and you're gonna make the soup, go to Joe Riccio YouTube page. Follow us. Like the video. Join our Patreon at patreon.com. Food Coma Podcast. We'd love to have you. We love what we do here, and your help makes it possible. And Tony will not starve either way. Tony will still eat well, whether you do or not. But we would like it if you go.
Chris will eat.
Chris will eat too, potentially. But Tony will definitely eat. Tony's a priority around here, even when, you're good. So, we're signing off. Thank you.
Sponsors? Anybody else?
I want to thank again our sponsors, Eshram Potters, for, this one. Allagash Brewing, which needs no introduction, but if you've been in Maine in the past 35,000 years, you'd know who Allagash is and how they've stayed relevant. Their beers are delicious. And Taco Escobar and Lazari restaurants in Portland, who I spoke about earlier. But again, you probably know about them, and if not, you should go check them out for sure. Absolutely delightful. I'm Joe Riccio, and this is Food Coma, my 70s kitchen.